Benny steps through the paint-chipped gates, a childlike grin crossing his face. The carnival had come to a small town for one night only, promising laughter and light entertainment. He welcomed the distraction from his mundane life. As he meandered past the rides and the game stalls, the smell of popcorn and cotton candy flooded his senses. The excited shrieks of children filled the air. He made his way eagerly to the big top, drawn by a large sign advertising the Sideshow Profit Act. Benny took a seat among the chattering audience. The lights dimmed and a spotlight fixated on the prophet as he stepped dramatically onto the stage. His face was obscured by a dark hood. "Welcome one and all," he announced, his voice deep and commanding. "I am the seer of destinies. For one night only, I shall glimpse into your futures and reveal what is to come." Eager audience members lined up to have their fortunes told. Benny watched in fascination as the prophet spoke of new jobs, windfalls of money, chance reunions, always uplifting futures to the delight of the patrons. When it was Benny's turn, a strange hesitation came over the prophet. After a pause, he provided a safe prediction. Benny would take a chance on something new. Benny nodded politely, hiding his disappointment as he made his way off stage. A creeping feeling came over him that there was more to his fortune than the prophet had revealed. Benny knew he wouldn't rest easy until he uncovered the truth. As the crowd dispersed, he made his way to the prophet's trailer behind the big top and knocked firmly on the door. The prophet answered, his hood now lowered to reveal an elderly, wrinkled face. His eyes narrowed suspiciously. "What do you want, boy?" Benny stood firm. "You didn't give me my full fortune earlier. I want to know what exactly you saw." The prophet studied him intently before sighing. "Not all are ready for the burdens of truth, but if you insist." He ushered Benny inside, the trailer cramped with mystical paraphernalia. Settling wearily into a chair, the prophet grasped Benny's palm. His eyes gazed over as he slipped into a trance. "I see darkness ahead for you, boy," he rasped. "Betrayal by those close to you, an accident that will leave you broken, and a temptation that may cost you your soul." Benny snatched back his hand, laughing nervously. "Good one, old man. You almost had me." The prophet said nothing, holding his piercing gaze. Benny turned and hurried from the trailer, shaking off the chilling encounter. The fortunes were just cheap fairground tricks, he assured himself. As he walked past the big top, a scream tore through the air. A woman stood in shock as a man kneeled before her, presenting a large diamond ring. Her screams were screams of joy. Benny's stomach dropped. The prophet only minutes earlier had predicted something would happen this night that she would never forget. Instantly, Benny's skepticism melted away, replaced by chilling dread as the weight of his own dark prophecy sank in. If the old man had known about this, surely the proposal would have taken place during the performance. The once jolly carnival now seemed twisted, almost nightmarish. The lights glowed an ominous red, the painted clowns' faces on the game stalls mocking and sinister. Benny's heart pounded as he imagined his impending betrayal, accident, and temptation. He had to escape his fate. Bursting back into the prophet's trailer, he shouted, "You have to help me. I'll do anything to avoid what you predicted." The prophet sat solemnly. "I cannot prevent a fate I have foreseen, but I can allow you to transfer it." Benny hesitated. "Transfer it?" "To another unsuspecting soul here tonight." Benny recoiled at the implication. "No, I could never." "Then your fate is sealed," the prophet warned. Benny rushed from the trailer, his mind spinning. Could he condemn someone else to save himself? The once enchanting carnival now seemed a sinister trap, the prophet its cunning orchestrator. Benny wandered aimlessly. A young couple walked by giggling and besotted. A teenager grinned excitedly as he devoured candy floss. A grandmother clasped her grandchild's hand gently. Benny imagined cursing each of them for his own salvation. But how could he live with himself? They were innocent souls, unaware of the darkness that lurked beneath the carnival's dazzling surface. As midnight approached, Benny stood transfixed by the carousel. Sinister pipe organ music swirled as the ride's zebras and dragons rotated, their frozen eyes peering deep into Benny's soul. His sanity felt on a knife edge. Just then a voice broke the nightmarish trance. "Step right up, young man, don't be shy." A carnival barker waved him over to a tent. See the amazing bearded lady, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Benny's legs carried him towards the tent's entrance, where he knew a fateful decision awaited. He could transfer his fate to the unsuspecting woman inside. His hands trembled as he reached for the curtain. In a moment of clarity, Benny recoiled, sinking to his knees. "Forgive me," he whispered into the night. He could not sacrifice her or anyone for his own selfish gain. He would accept whatever fate awaited him. Benny sat slumped on a bench as the witching hour struck. He braced for whatever darkness the prophecy foretold. But nothing happened. No betrayal, no accident, no temptation materialized. Confused, Benny marched back to the prophet's trailer. The prophecy was false. None of the darkness he predicted came to pass. The prophet smiled knowingly. The prophecy was not false, merely a harbinger of what could come to pass should you make the wrong choices. Benny stood speechless as understanding washed over him. The prophet placed a hand gently on his shoulder. "Go forth into the world with virtue in your heart. You faced the darkness tonight that exists within all of us, and you prevailed." As dawn's light peeked over the horizon, Benny turned to find the carnival had vanished, leaving only empty, litter-strewn grass. The nightmarish ordeal now felt like a strange, haunting dream. He walked slowly towards the rising sun, grateful for the new day. He had emerged from the darkness wiser, his faith in humanity strengthened, but not blind to the shadows that lurked within every soul.